Exodus chapter 12, verse 6 contains 17 words. Genesis chapter 3, verse 19 also contains 17 words. Uniquely, both verses share the same structure. The sentence splits at add into a right side and a left side. In Genesis 3:19, the right side of add speaks of the time of life. The left side speaks of the time of death. In the same way, in Exodus 12:6, the right side of add speaks of the time of preparation, and the left side speaks of the time of offering. Because Hebrew sentences run from right to left, the location before add in Genesis 3:19 is on the right. There, Adam must sweat by the face to eat bread. After add, he returns to the dust, the state of death. Now, let us think for a moment. There is no time gap between life and death. Life ends the instant it reaches the door of death. Likewise, Exodus 12:6 describes an urgent moment. When the appointed time arrives, the Passover must be offered immediately. Under the fixed rule, even the clock is covenantal. The right divides life and death. This is the intense setting of the first Passover in Egypt. Therefore, the add in Exodus 12:6 functions as the same door as add in Genesis 3:19. The word add is formed by the letters Ayin and Dalet, eye and door. Just as the name suggests, it marks a visible threshold, a door you can see. The door that a human crosses at death is a visible door in real time, in the real world. In the same way, the boundary between the period of preparing the Passover lamb and the fixed time of offering it in Exodus 12:6 is not a metaphorical door. It is a real observable door in time. Remember this. In Exodus 12:6, the time of offering, the part written on the left side of add, first gives the date, on the 14th day of this month. The second clause is this: all the congregation of Israel shall offer him. Here, the key word oto is the third person masculine singular direct object pronoun, him. The grammar itself points to a personal referent, therefore not it, but him. Now, the interpretive point of veshahatu oto, the verb shachat, has two uses in Scripture. In sacrificial context, it functions as to offer, to present as an offering, while in general context, it can mean to kill or to slaughter. But in Exodus 12:6, it is difficult to render it kill or slaughter. The reasons are clear. The sentence structure reads naturally as a plural subject, the whole congregation, acting on a singular object, him. The scene also does not fit the idea of many people killing one small lamb. According to the sacrificial flow, the focus is the act of offering to God. Thus, the natural reading is, and they shall offer him. Consider the actual order of the Passover in practice. First, the lamb is offered to the Lord. Then it is brought to each household to be roasted and eaten. On site, the preparations, draining the blood, skinning, cutting, and washing, were carried out by designated personnel. Scripture does not use the modern civil day. In the Bible, the new day begins at evening. Therefore, the preparation day is before evening. All preparations must be complete before the 14th begins. In fact, the Hebrew Scriptures and the New Testament are in perfect harmony. We must recognize that the powers of the air confuse many to disturb this harmony. The four Gospels record precisely the time of the atoning death of Yeshua the Messiah, the Passover lamb. And this timing meshes exactly with Exodus and the Torah's ordinances. Let me summarize. Shachat is used in two ways in Scripture, sometimes as to offer, sometimes as to kill. But in Exodus 12:6, the correct rendering is offer him. If we erase the personal pronoun and translate kill it, we overturn the intended meaning that the grammar communicates. Now we come to the final timing in the verse. At what time on the 14th is the Passover lamb to be offered to the Lord? The answer is clear: between the evenings. Bin ha'arbim. Leviticus 23:5 matches this wording exactly. So when is between the evenings? Many Jewish commentators, including Rashi, tie the 14th to between the evenings and define it as between the 14th and the 15th. That is, the daytime of the 14th. From this, they conclude that the lamb is killed during the daytime of the 14th, which then pushes the Passover service into the evening of the 15th, a conclusion that conflicts with Exodus 12:6, Leviticus 23:5, and Joshua 5:10. Now I will explain the exact timing as Scripture presents it. In the Bible, the day begins at evening. Between the evenings does not refer to the daytime of the 14th. If you stand facing the western horizon in the late afternoon, you can observe the fact of between the evenings. Before the sun drops below the horizon, the sky already turns red. After it sets, the glow of dusk lingers for a while. That is between the evenings. Do not make this mistake, imagining one evening at the end of a day and another at the start of a day. That is a human projection. Afternoon gives way to evening, and with evening a new day begins, without exception. Therefore, evening is the beginning of the day. If you think of evening as the end of a day, you will misread the Bible's calendar. The evidence from Joshua 5:10 is even clearer. Joshua kept the Passover on the evening of the 14th day of the first month. Here, evening is plainly singular. As one who kept the statute with Moses and Aaron, Joshua's record shows that the Passover is observed on the evening of the 14th. Therefore, the idea of slaughtering in the daytime of the 14th collapses. The correct timing is this. When evening comes, the 14th begins. Therefore, the lamb must be slaughtered and all preparations completed during the day of the 13th before evening. In summary, between the evenings on the 14th is Scripture's precise and beautiful expression for that narrow window, the early evening onset, the moment of sunset, and the glow immediately after sunset, the very beginning of the 14th. At that time, offer him. Leviticus 23:5 and Exodus 12:6 are in perfect agreement here, and Joshua 5:10, with its singular evening, further confirms the actual moment of observance.